So we have with us here Anush Shankar, CEO Luganodes, Omar Abi Isa, Senior Business Development Manager, OVH Cloud, who is our blockchain expert as well, and DVS Shiv Kumar, PreSales Engineer APAC, OVH Cloud. So I would like ask each of you to provide an overview on the relevance of the topics which you are bringing on the table here. Over to you, Omar.
Hello, Pallavi. Thank you very much for the invite, first of all, and thank you for the panelists, as well as our participants. Now, my name is Omar Abi Isa, as Pallavi mentioned, Senior Business Development Manager and Blockchain Expert at OVH Cloud. I've been at OVH Cloud for 4 years. Now, how relevant is my presence here? Let me take you back a bit of time to 2016, in which I was first time exposed into blockchain. Now, I didn't understand much at that time, but I was exposed into the crypto technology, right? From then, I had the will to understand deeply what is crypto, what is blockchain, and then 2019 I joined OVH Cloud, and that technical knowledge gave me the possibility to let's say deep dive into the technological stack of the blockchain infrastructure architecture itself. And so following that down that rabbit hole brought us here. Now I've been helping blockchain companies for the past 3 years very intensively, achieving high performance and lower operational costs at OVH Cloud, and kind of co-building the blockchain vertical and the ecosystem for our lovely corporate. Thank you.
Okay, great. That was quite early for you when you understood about blockchain. That's great. Over to you, Shiv, if you can provide an overview.
Thanks, Pallavi. Hello, everyone. My name is DVS Shiv Kumar. I am a pre-sales engineer with OVH Cloud, working in the APAC market. Been with OVH Cloud for almost 6 years now. The expertise that I bring to this particular webinar is about understanding of OVH product and services, how it can be integrated with various solutions. And I'll be covering that particular part in this particular webinar about the different products and that we have in our portfolio and how we can leverage them with the solutions with using the blockchain technology.
Okay, great. Now I would like to thank Anuj, CEO Luganodes, one of our esteemed customers, for joining us here on this platform. Luganodes is a leading institutional grade blockchain infrastructure provider. They provide leading blockchain infrastructure for proof of stake networks. And I would like to ask Anush to provide an overview.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Pallavi, for having me here, and super excited to be part of this overall. And OVH definitely has been critical to our, for the services that we offer. And I'm super glad to be part of this. And just to give you a brief background, so, we started Luganodes almost like 11 months back, and the growth journey has been pretty tremendous. And OVH obviously has played a very critical role in supporting us from the early days. And before Luganodes, I was at McKinsey as a technical consultant, where I basically was heading and leading platform engineering for various different startups that were getting built through McKinsey. I did have a short stint at Microsoft as well. I'm an engineer myself. I understand infrastructure pretty well. But today, I'm glad that I have this platform to basically talk more about how we have leveraged OVH Cloud to build upon the services that we offer to our customers on the blockchain infra front. So yeah, over to you, Pallavi, and thanks for having me.
Great. A lot of thought goes into solving the practical challenges for customers using blockchain technology. However, less attention is given to how the blockchain platform or infrastructure is deployed. So I'm sure the experience which you're going to share here will be beneficial for the people who are looking, forward for this kind of deployment. Okay, so for the attendees, just to let them know that they can share their queries on the chat box, which is on the right side of the screen, and we will answer them in the Q&A section later. Okay, so now I would like to request Omar to share the insights on blockchain market and how tech companies has achieved higher performance on the blockchain sector. So over to you, Omar.
Thank you very much, Pallavi. Guys, I would like to start with a little bit of market data. Now, blockchain is an amazing technology, and whoever denies it or is still in the denial phase, where thinks that blockchain is a fugazi thing and it's just a manipulative, let's say, crypto asset, rather than looking at the overall of the market and the ecosystem and the technology itself, is, in my opinion, going to have to do a lot of educational self-development for himself, and it's a perfect opportunity. Now, why, in my opinion, a blockchain ecosystem and blockchain technology is totally different than the established markets such as the healthcare, the fintechs of the world, and those verticals, is because blockchain is an innovative technology. Obviously, it's a decentralized database that is, in our research, which is pointed out on the screen, showing that the technology itself is going to grow at a rate of 85% year on year from 2021 to 2030. Now, blockchain market was valued at $17.5 billion US dollars in 2023. And as mentioned, it is anticipated to grow at an 85% year on year level. Now, if we look at the right hand side, I prepared a small slide for you showing in what sectors blockchain technology will be used as an end user or consumer. And if we look at it, blockchain technology will and is anticipated and is predicted by the top analysts in the world that is going to affect most of the sectors in the world, such as fintech, governmental institution, healthcare, media, entertainment, retail, transportation and logistics, travel, and many, many others. Now, if we look below at the presence, the regional presence, where that technology is going to be adopted the quickest, we have North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. And it is not a coincidence that OVH Cloud is highly, let's say, engaged into providing those solutions or creating those ecosystems in those regions, because those are the operational regions and the locations of our data centers for OVH Cloud. Now, just to mention, those are anticipations of the growth and adoption of the final end users and consumers. But from my point of view, the technological benefits and solutions that are created that are going to be mass adopted by those sectors are built in the bear market, as we are here, by the creators such as Anuj and Luganodes. So we have to consider that there are makers and then users, and then the makers are building those solutions that are going to be adopted by the users in those let's say sub-verticals or industries.
Okay, great.
Now, if we could deep dive into the ecosystem overview, right? Maybe let's deep dive into how that maker or where that maker can sit into a blockchain ecosystem. Now, I like to call them in regards to the ends that we are discussing. Looking at the top level, at the front end of the technology itself, to the mid end where the validators and the collaborative solutions are being built, to the blockchain networks itself at the back end. Now, looking at that architecture, it gives us a high level overview of companies that are going to build those end customer users or solutions will sit in one of those, let's say, three sub-verticals. Obviously, there are going to be consortium or very complex blockchain technological solutions, which are going to be across 2 subverticals or even 3 subverticals, but it shows a little bit about the ecosystem of the technology itself. But I would love to deep dive into that slide, into more complex, and maybe explain our listeners on how that technology would work. Guys, please do not be scared about this slide, right? It is for us a very important subject to stick as OVH Cloud to the values that the corporate has. And the values such as sustainability, transparency, and reversibility in that sense. Now, this slide presents a high-level overview of how the technology would work, and I like to explain this slide based on a example of a decentralized application that would create some smart contract, right? So we could say, let's say a retail e-commerce platform that would be a decentralized application. Let's talk theoretically here. And now, looking at the top of the architecture, you would see those 2 computers, laptops. One of them would be, let's say, an e-commerce seller, and one would be an e-commerce buyer. On a regular platform, which is centralized, which is not interconnected to a blockchain, that would be a transaction that would create a record in a database. But if we look at permissionless blockchain solutions, if that, let's say, buyer from the laptop would want to purchase a product from a seller, that would create a smart contract with X varieties of smart contract nodes that needs to be fulfilled for that transactions to be completed. Now, that smart contract would go into the sentry nodes, then passed on into the verification part of the blockchain. Now, this is where I would like to make a separation in between proof of work and proof of stake. Proof of work would take that smart contract and would be mined, so computers would check the validity and the correction of that smart contract being completed, to then add it into the blockchain, which in our opinion is very unsustainable, because it uses a lot of energy, and we can talk about examples such as Bitcoin, for example, right? And its network. It's proof of work. Bitcoin mining nodes are constantly working on GPUs or CPUs to be able to solve that mathematical problem of the verification of that smart contract. Although in proof of stake, and that, sorry, but going back to the proof of work, that is using a lot of compute resources, which is really unsustainable in the long run. But then if we look at the proof of stake, and I would refer to Anuj's, for example, business model here, those staking nodes are acting as an insurance filled with a cryptocurrency on the network that the solution is interconnected to, that would possibly just stake some amount of cryptocurrency, so a currency, working as an insurance, right? That process is not as compute intensive, it is sustainable, and it works very well. That would be the distinguishing, the distinguish between proof of work and proof of stake, and we would like to focus on helping organizations on the latter deployments and development. Now, it is important to maybe highlight why a blockchain maker would want to work with a player as OVH Cloud, for instance. Now, focusing on what blockchain makers would have as a business driver that would fit their business model to increase the profitability and increase the go-to-market, time to market, it is, in my opinion, a very important pillar, which is the agile go-to-market, as I mentioned, and to decentralize the IT infrastructure because of the nature of the blockchain itself, which is decentralized. So our portfolio, OVH Cloud's portfolio of infrastructure as a service, so the bare metal dedicated service, but as well platform as a service products such as public clouds, managed Kubernetes, storage and such, is diversified in between 34 data centers that are interconnected on the same network. Therefore, a company that is willing to decentralize their blockchain operations can benefit from the 34 locations that we are offering across Europe, USA, Canada, and APAC. And just to mention, it's very important to understand that the network behind those data centers is owned by OVH Cloud and is capable of delivering a traffic of 70 terabit per second on the backend. Now, many companies are deploying stuff in obviously other cloud service providers, and they are reporting that the operational costs of the infrastructure is very high due to the ingress and egress traffic costs. It's very hard to predict it, and at the end of the day, if a cloud service provider is charging for traffic, ingress or egress traffic, it eats the vast majority of the profit margin itself. Therefore, OVH Cloud doesn't charge for traffic. So we have no ingress or ingress fees. And this is one of the biggest drivers for the blockchain industry at the moment. Now, just looking a bit futuristically, we would go to the third pillar, and I like to think of it futuristically because we are talking about security and compliance. Obviously, security is a driver that every single IT native company should have at the moment. But if we look in the future, we don't know what kind of legislations or regulations are coming to a blockchain industry because it's in an innovative and, let's say, new industry to tackle. Now, if we look back at similar industries or the different industries such as healthcare or financial sector, we know that those are very established, very, very old industries, and they have been regulated in time. So we have no idea what the regulations are going to be, but partnering with a cloud service provider that is an enterprise is giving you the head start to know that even if the regulation will come, those regulations should be sustained within, from the infrastructure point of view, within the cloud service provider, because that's their bread and butter, right? And lastly, a very important subject, again, going back to the decentralization piece, but as well the automation and reversibility, as I mentioned, in regards to the cloud values of OVH Cloud, is that OVH Cloud supports customer to create multi-cloud scenarios, to interconnect on a private network, their infrastructure at OVH Cloud to another cloud service providers or their on-premise operations. And the very important part is that OVH Cloud doesn't really believe in vendor locking. Our solutions are based on open source, dedicated service with root access, so that if a customer, if the creator in the blockchain space decides to go and build something on OVH Cloud's infrastructure, it's reversible, it's drag and drop. They can utilize it, they can back it up, they can disaster recover it to other location on-prem or another cloud service provider, and possibly plug and play it. And I would like to stop here and let Shiv deep dive into the technological, let's say, advancement of our products.
Wonderful, Omar. That was indeed insightful. And I'm sure this will be quite helpful for the companies who are planning to set up create a footprint in this area. So I'm sure it will be helpful for them. Thank you. Okay, so now I would like to ask Shiv Kumar to present insights into the blockchain infrastructure and the supported deployments.
Sure. Thanks, Pallavi. Thanks, Omar. Thanks for that overview about the market and about the technology that we can bring into that. I would start with technological aspects, how OVH Cloud will be able to support the blockchain. And before I do that, just a little bit on the OVH Cloud, how it is different from other cloud providers. Now, we in the entire market, if you look at it, and if you look at different cloud providers, there are some key qualities that we can bring in, right? First and foremost, that I would like to say is that we are open and reversible. The solutions that we bring in our cloud technologies that we build with the open standards. There is no vendor lock-in, or so customers can bring in their solution which is designed for any open source platform, and they can deploy it. So that fastens the deployment. And in case if they want to move out also from our cloud, then they can easily do that. So there is no much change that they have to do to their application or to their solution or to their design in order to move in or move out. So that's the transparency that we bring in with our cloud. We bring in very predictable and transparent pricing. As Omar pointed out, we don't charge for the ingress and egress traffic. So which is very vital when you are bringing an application and data along with it, right? So when you have to, or when you are want to move out of the solution, and like if you want to build a multi-cloud strategy and you want to move some applications from one platform to other, then in that case also it becomes very. So majority of the data centers where OVH owns and operates them, we don't charge for the egress traffic. In APAC, of course, we do charge for the egress traffic, but also we ensure that there is a transparent pricing also in APAC, and the customers are not burdened with the unknown, unpredictable pricing of their solutions that they are building in, or the applications that they have deployed, or the infrastructure that they are using. So that's again a key factor that we bring in, which is predictable and transparent pricing. And sovereignty aspect. Being a European cloud provider, sovereignty is an important factor or important piece for us. And we want to ensure that all our deployments or whatever the solution that we present to the market, it is built ground up from the design, and it is the data sovereignty is kept in the loop, and we ensure that there is a data protection at every level in the design of the solution. And then the sustainability aspects, all the OVH Cloud data centers are water cooled and air cooled. We build our own servers, which again we bring into our data centers, and then we build the most sustainable cloud when we design these solutions. The components that we bring in, the consumption of energy is all very well taken into consideration when we are building in the cloud. And this cuts across all the solutions, whether you are deploying an infrastructure as a service with our bare metal cloud, or a private cloud, or a public cloud, or if you are running a PaaS application platform service. All these qualities come together and build all these solutions on top, and these solutions are built on top of that. Right. And we also support the multi-cloud and the hybrid cloud department, which is the future going further. A little bit more on the OVH Cloud. As you can see, we are already the #1 European player in public cloud. When I say #1 European player, the European incorporated company that is, and it's the #1 driver in Europe for the public cloud. We are #2 in Europe, including USA, for providing the bare metal cloud and hosted private cloud, which is the private cloud solution. And we are also an important player in web cloud space also. So we are leading these positions entirely in Europe, and then we are expanding into other regions, bringing that same qualities. All right. Then I will be talking about our global and local capabilities. This is a very important factor when you are building the solution for the blockchain technology or for the blockchain technologies, because you need to have the local capabilities along with the global capabilities. That's when you will be able to build the decentralized applications, right? Where you are just not like centralizing your resources at one location and then you are spreading out to many other locations. And this is where we have the capabilities that will ensure you that you will be able to build those solutions on top of the blockchain technology, because we will be able to provide those both with local capabilities along with expanding to the global capabilities, right? So we are having 33 data centers worldwide. You can pick from any one of these regions and then you can deploy the solution over there. All these data centers are connected by our private network. We have all these data centers connected with 33 terabytes of the network speed, and the total capacity is around 70 terabytes of the network capacity, connecting all these 33 data centers. 44 point of presence worldwide, where you can anywhere from any region you can connect to these point of presence and come to the OVH Cloud network. So these are some of the things, that capabilities that we can bring to the table, which will allow you to build the applications that are needed for the blockchain technology, right? Moving on, when I'll just highlight about the portfolio of the services. Now, the portfolio of services is very vital because you can understand the solution wherever you are there in the tech stack of building the blockchain solution. You would find the solutions that are there in our portfolio that will cater to your needs. Whether you want dedicated resources, dedicated hardware to deploy your application or build your solution, you have the private cloud solution that is available with bare metal cloud, where you have different bare metal servers which are developed for or designed for various use cases. Like if you have an application that is that you want to run your application on a virtualized environment, you have bare metal servers which are built or designed for the virtualized environment. If you want to run big data, if you want to run databases, or you have high storage needs, then you have different bare metal servers which can cater to these particular use cases. And then we also have a private cloud solution which is built with market ready solutions like VMware and Nutanix. Whether you have capabilities at your end where you or you have the skill sets where you with the likes of VMware or Nutanix, and you want to use that skill sets of your team and then move to the cloud, then we have these market ready solutions that can fit into your needs with dedicated resources, dedicated hardware, and bringing your capabilities and skill sets into it and developing the solutions on top of them. And then we have the public cloud ecosystem, which consists of compute, network, and storage. You have different instance types and different storage profiles and different storage types and the network capacity along with that to build those infrastructure solutions on top of the public cloud, along with bringing them the PaaS capabilities along with it, like the managed databases, managed analytics and big data tools. And then also for the infrastructure space, you have the container and orchestration solutions on top of which you can build your applications. So along the technological stack of the blockchain, wherever you are fit in, at what level or which space that you are working in, we have the solutions that can cater to those particular needs. And also you can mix and match these solutions and leverage our backbone to build your own solution. Whether if you want to use some of the resources from different space and then you want to build your applications around that, we have something called VRAC, which can interconnect all these solutions along with that, and then we build the solutions on top of it. All these solutions, whether you're using bare metal cloud, hosted private cloud, or public cloud, they have inbuilt anti-DDoS solutions for the security, where you don't have to pay anything extra on top of that, and all are supported by these protected by the anti-DDoS solution that we have. Moving on. So again, expanding on to the what Omar shared about the different aspects like decentralized IT or agile or the go-to-market. Again, I would be expanding more on the each universe that we have. Like for example, if we are having the like when we talk about the bare metal cloud, we have dedicated servers in that particular bare metal cloud. So what is the value that we are bringing in? So the global capabilities that we have 33 data centers worldwide, and then you can pick and choose from any data center, and then you can develop the solution, build a solution from there, and then these servers can be delivered in 120 seconds. And all these servers are designed in such a way that they are bringing the performance at the best price, and that is the uniqueness that these dedicated servers can bring to you. So, right. So the value and what is the uniqueness that we bring when you want to build a solution with the where you have to iterate the solution quickly and go to the market, then you have bare metal servers which can meet those needs globally and in a faster time. Then we have the public cloud with compute resources and the Kubernetes solution for containers. You can launch these the public cloud resources through APIs, through CLI, or through any orchestrator, and then manage these solutions with the orchestration solutions. And then you can also control these resources with different automation tools, so you can innovate faster. And all entire public cloud ecosystem is built on open source. So that is very unique. That is the uniqueness that we bring in the in public cloud. And when you are building a solution with using any open source solution, you can bring in directly to our public cloud platform, and then it is fully reversible. There is no vendor specific login. You can bring in the resources in, and then you can take out the resources in case if you want to move to a different platform or anything, and you don't have any vendor specific login in order to it doesn't stop you from moving in and out. And then you have the hosted private cloud with our market ready solutions like VMware and Nutanix. Again, the value that it brings is that you have the unique skill sets that are needed for the VMware and Nutanix. And if you have those skill sets, then you can fully leverage this particular system. You can build a multi-cloud solution using both the technologies, fully dedicated resources, and both the solutions are entirely managed by OVH Cloud. So that management overhead is again taken away from you, and you can just concentrate on your application and then build the application on top of it. So you are getting the best-in-class hypervisors in the market with good price to performance on top of them, and that is what the uniqueness that we're building in this. Similarly, we'll talk about the security and compliance. In the security and compliance section, again, what's the different cloud solutions that we have, like the bare metal cloud, what it brings. So all these solutions are having the highest standard of certification. All the bare metal servers, whether are certified for the highest level of certifications with all the compliances that are needed. So this brings the highest standard of data protection on the bare metal server. So that is the value and the uniqueness that we bring in. On the public cloud, what we offer is that, again, you would have the security compliance for the project, and then you can launch the applications again with different interfaces, and you can have the access control list in order to control what the resources are being deployed and do it, whether you are doing it from API, whether you are doing with orchestration tool, or whether you are doing it just from web console. You can have that control on your environment and the project. Now, with respect to the private cloud, again, it's a trusted hosted cloud solutions where the resources are uniquely distributed and are provided in a unique space. So no other customer is using your hardware to deploy your solution. So that's kind of a differentiation or the wall that we are putting in between the resources in the hosted private cloud. And then you have the data encryption where it is both at rest and in transit. The data encryption is available. Now going to the price and predictability. Now in this price and predictability for the bare metal cloud, again, it's the best price and performance of the ratio. Then you can run it on the OpEx model where you are paying for these resources monthly. Unmetered traffic is included except in APAC. Then you can scale up at your pace. So you don't have to buy the resources upfront. You can scale up as and when you need. And with our unique delivery system, you can get the resources as and when you want to go to the market. And then with the public cloud, it's again a pay-as-you-go model where you will be paying for the resources as you consume it, whether you are launching these resources from API, web console, or orchestration. The uniqueness that you get in the public cloud is that these resources are all guaranteed. And if you are running these resources on monthly, they are further discounted. Now, on coming to the private cloud, again, same. You would be getting these resources on OpEx-based model. You would be paying a monthly flat rate, and then unmetered traffic included in it, and scale up at your pace. And right, so these you will, and the uniqueness is usually you can get different compute and storage component combination for your workloads, right? So these are the different uniqueness and values that we can bring in with different resources to while you are deploying the application on our infrastructure.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Shiv. This is surely helpful for the audience who wants to understand about the infrastructure and which is tailored especially for blockchain, solutions and blockchain business to succeed. So that's a great insight. So Omar, it would be great if you could, also share some, how OVH Cloud can help the blockchain creators, if you can share some more information about it.
I'll be more than happy to do so. First of all, thanks, Shiv. That was very technically oriented, and I hope that any listener that is indeed technical nerd such as ourselves partially will be able to understand some of the bits and pieces and compare them to the let's say needs that company or that deployment needs. And I hope that they found the synergy. But then this is technical. Let's go to the business aspects, right? The business growth aspects. Why a blockchain creator would want to work with us, and what are we offering as the ecosystem that we created for the blockchain makers, for the blockchain companies in this innovative, let's say, market. Now, first of all, I would like to focus on the left and right hand side of the graph. We have there a startup and scale up program, and then the partner program on the right hand side. Why are they separated so largely in that slide? Listen, blockchain is a very young entrepreneurial market that needs sometimes support from a giant such as ourselves to be able to come into a cloud service provider or and utilize their proof of concepts, develop their ideas without the necessity of reducing their run rate as a startup or scale up. Maybe going a bit in depth, a scale up or startup that is funded pre-seed, seed, or even Series A, they have a particular run rate of the finance that they are given to make the company start creating cash flow or be cash positive and such. But it is sometimes very impossible to do so without the help of someone that believes in the solution, such as ourselves. We do believe in the blockchain market and the blockchain creators in that space, to provide them with some help to utilize the infrastructure, such as public cloud, for free for a certain period of time, to develop, to deploy that infrastructure to make it work before starting to be profitable as a company. Now, this is, let's say, a startup, and I would say a leg to boost those companies. And then on the right-hand side, we have the partner program. Now, if we look at the ecosystem, right, we would have companies, the blockchain makers, that would come to OVH Cloud and work with us. Then we would have the startup leg to raise those young entrepreneurs and let's say flourish them. And then on the top we have the partner program that would sit and incorporate companies that have those particular very niche skill sets to build blockchain solutions for the end customers, consumers, users that would be able to call themselves OVH Cloud partners. That enables both ways of the ecosystem, the support and from the help that needs a young entrepreneur to the help that end consumer or customers might need to develop some bits and pieces of their infrastructure where their expertise is not really advanced. Now, if we look at the middle section, this is directly us as people working with those companies and what we are offering. There are a set of services such as professional services or the business grade support services that, depending on the need, OVH Cloud's employees and departments within OVH Cloud can help. If there is a need of creating a solution but not going to a partner, but it is based on OVH Cloud's infrastructure and creating on top of OVH Cloud's infrastructure, from a technical point of view, as Shiv mentioned, to all those solutions, there are solution architects, system architects, and solution architects that can help develop, build hands-on those solutions in partner with the company that is willing to take that help. And then the business grade support services is in my opinion, this is a very important subject. OVH Cloud, as a from its let's say principles, we do not charge for any service that the customer thinks doesn't need. But then, if you are an enterprise, if you are providing your solution to a business into B2B model, to business to enterprises even, you need to ensure the stability of your solution. And that comes with the business grade support services, such as business and enterprise level of support, 24/7, 365 support, where you have a dedicated phone number. You can call the support engineers, say what's going on, and obviously, hopefully unlock the challenge in the minimal time required. And then the middle section of the graph is the technical and business growth advisory. Shiv is a pre-sales engineer, as mentioned, and myself, I'm a senior business development manager. This is a combination in between the technical and business growth aspects of an advisory that we can help and support the end customer within that ecosystem or any other. For example, if a young entrepreneur would come and would want to get our advice on how to make the infrastructure, and this is our, let's say, key passion, infrastructure within blockchain, then we could support it not only from business aspects and how to stay sustainable in a long run in regards to the cash flow positivity, profitability, OPEX versus CAPEX investments, and commitments to the services and so on, but as well from a technical point of view, what would be the best to create a solution, which products to use, how to deploy it, and such. And this is kind of the ecosystem which we are building. Many more things to come, but for now, I think this is a great start for any entrepreneur in the space. I would like to talk a bit about the, let's say, the trust, which is very important for us. The trust that many companies have already given us in that ecosystem. I don't want to deep dive too much into this slide, as I hope that Pallavi will be able to send that deck to our lovely listeners and participants. But those are kind of the case studies which have been developed in help and with the customers in the blockchain industry, in the blockchain vertical, in every single sub vertical that we showed at the beginning of the presentation. In the front end, so those decentralized application creators and companies supporting that, such as Flux and Gosh, or Chain Salting, which is kind of in the middle. They are a validator, but they as well support deployment of the decentralized application creation. To super protocol and security, which is a totally the backend. So they create a decentralized computational networks, so blockchain networks, using our public cloud and bare metal service, as Shiv mentioned, the kind of the multi-product scenario, which they are utilizing our private backbone and using two different, let's say, varieties in the universes of OVH Cloud's products, and Beware Labs, which is creating a collaborative solutions, but as well validators. I will leave that section for Anuj to shine, but thank you very much, and I hope we gave you a little bit of, let's say, trust or passion into what we do or what we're trying to build and engage with.
Yes, for sure. Wonderful. Thank you, Amar, for sharing these information and also the case studies as well, which will be, I think, which will be quite beneficial to understand, So one more time, I would like to ask the attendees if they can share their queries on the chat box on the right side, and we are going to answer them in the Q&A section later. Okay, so now I would like to ask a few questions from our customer, Luganodes CEO Anuj Shankar. So Anuj, it would be nice if you could shine some light on your current infrastructure and services.
Absolutely. So Luganodes, our overall mission or vision is to provide, the best leading blockchain infrastructure for our institutional and retail customers. And right now, as we see that, validation is still a very complex undertaking. So in these proof of stake networks, delegators are always looking for reliable partners because they want to make sure that they are getting stable yields and are getting the right protection from penalties such as double signing and slashing, right? So we come in and step in to take away the operational and the technical challenges for our customers to run, manage, and maintain blockchain infrastructure such as validator nodes in a very safe, compliant, and efficient manner. Uh, yeah. So currently, if I speak about the day-to-day, where we are right now in our journey. So we are a AAA rated, leading institutional grade staking provider. We manage almost around 750 million USD worth of staked assets across 18 plus proof of stake networks that we have gone live on, and that too in just a matter of less than 10 months of being operational. So this has been a great growth journey for us, and currently we are also one of the fastest growing staking provider in terms of the assets that are being staked to us. In terms of the expertise that we hold in the blockchain infrastructure, we do offer a range of services. Obviously starting from running and managing validator nodes for major public blockchains. So as of now, we have had a very, very high uptime with no slashing incidents that have occurred, and we do have a very high appetite for security as well. So we think about security by shifting left. Essentially, security is not an afterthought for us. It's baked into our processes and the systems that we have put in place. Apart from that, we also enable a lot of founders, help them support and enable them to launch their chains from scratch. So steering their projects, consulting them, taking them from a dev net to a test net to a mainnet launch that happens. And there are a few examples and case studies that we have also published from our side, in which we have been providing services like these. Then we also host a high performant multi-region RPC service. So in case institution needs a very high performance RPC service, so we usually spin up some of these services through bare metal servers and locate them geographically very close to our clients, which makes sure that that gives them very low latency and high performance. So that is something that we do, and it is a completely bespoke setup dedicated to our clients. So it's not like shared infrastructure that we provide. Then we also build custom indexers on top of these blockchains to gather a lot of data analytics, right? So we typically, gather a lot of this information and then use it in our staking dashboard that we have built, which is called as the Luganodes terminal. And then obviously we help other operators also onboard on these blockchains by providing seed nodes, snapshots, and other essential services which are required to operate any decentralized network. So this is to give you like a overall idea of our core expertise that we entail in the blockchain infra space. Now, just quickly touching upon where we are coming from. So, we are a Swiss operated business. So we come from this beautiful place near Lake Como called Lugano. And in Lugano, it's a very interesting place because, they are very pro Web3 and blockchain. And, they have come up with this amazing program called Lugano Plan B, which is an initiative driven by the city of Lugano. And they aspire to be the crypto capital of the world. And the overall vision of the city is to collect taxes in cryptocurrencies. And in order to facilitate this program, they have set aside almost 100 million Swiss francs as investment pool. And they envision to build a blockchain hub in the city where they want to seat blockchain experts, engineers, business builders, entrepreneurs, startup founders, and support them with the right tooling in place, and various different services in place. And then right now, in the city, there are like more than 150 merchants accepting crypto payments. So which means that technically you can walk into a McDonald's and pay using Bitcoin or Tether or LVGA, which is the stable coin of the city. So, and they have been expanding their overall adoption of, the payments with various different merchants, ranging from, popular brands like Guess to Swarovski to, the McDonald's of the world, right? So, this is being embraced, and we are part of this thriving Web3 ecosystem. And we were very lucky that, we got this opportunity, and we were the very first startup to be part of this program when it got launched. So yeah, that's to give you our background as well.
Okay, that was great, to understand about the background for Luganodes, and of course to understand about this Lugano city. Yeah, so which is quite inspiring as well. Okay, so another question from my side. May I know which all services are using OVH Cloud infrastructure, and according to you, how easy was the deployment using its features?
Yeah, absolutely. I can quickly walk you through the current architecture that we have deployed for various different blockchains. And this is just, taking one blockchain into consideration, right? But this setup is technically replicated for other blockchains, depending on, some parameter changes that are required. So currently we have like some Sentry nodes which are publicly connected to these blockchain networks, and we have our active validator in one of the DCs in the OVH Cloud, and then we also have a backup validator in some other data center, present, so that if there is any to solve the redundancy problem. So we want to make sure that we have a very high uptime. Even if our active validator goes down, we have like a backup always ready to go, and we just have to switch the keys. And we also sometimes use HSM key signers wherever they could be used. So some blockchains support HSM, but some don't as of now. But gradually, I see the space moving more and more towards the key management portion being outside of the validators itself. So in order to run the validators, we use bare metal servers, and to ensure high performance. And as you guys also mentioned in the presentation, that the unmetered bandwidth is something that is pretty critical, because there is a lot of data transfer that happens. And if you have a metered line, then that also creates a lot of problems in terms of the cost of running the validator, right? So we also have hosted our monitoring solutions in the cloud itself. So in this, as you see on the bottom left, there is this public infrastructure that we host, which is our website and our staking dashboard. And then our internal infra, such as the monitoring dashboard, our Git services, our chat applications that we use internally in our organization, are all hosted on OVH. So if you move to the next slide, probably I can just quickly touch upon the high level stuff. So for example, HSMs, I mentioned the DDoS protection tunnel, which is provisioned by OVH, is being leveraged by us, so that we can directly connect to some of these networks. And then obviously we are running validators, full nodes, and archive nodes, right? So that's something that we have been operating on OVH.
Okay.
So in here, just wanted to quickly touch upon like what are the type of services that we run, just to give the audience a flavor of some of the popular open source solutions that we use internally in the organization to ensure that we have solid operations, right? So we use toolings like Grafana, Prometheus for our monitoring stack. We internally use metrics for our personal communication, like workplace communication, and then we self-host our GitLab as well, where we are pushing our source code for the dashboard, website, etc. And then we use the open source version of Notion, which is called Outline, to maintain all the documentation and knowledge repositories in this particular tool. And then obviously we have a bunch of Web3 native monitoring solutions like TenderDuty, Solana, Watchtower, monitoring of the SUI and Polygon. So stuff like this is being currently run on OVH. So this is to give you like a flavor of what are the things that we are running, and how we have been operationally successful by leveraging some of the services.
Okay, great. So I'm sure Luganodes customers are having a good experience. May I know on few of your customers' feedbacks which you might have received and you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I would quickly touch upon our experience with OVH, and then maybe talk about our customers because they have also been, our performance is something that we deeply care about, and we have been doing decently well, I would say. And in terms of our experience, we typically look for a few things that we need as an operator in order to facilitate amazing business to our customers. One of them is obviously custom server provisioning under a very short period of time because the space is so fast paced and fast moving that the requirements keep changing very quickly. So one node gets outdated and then the other node has to be brought up, right? So we typically tend to have our custom server provisioning done by OVH. So that's something that we are able to do because of the wide variety of servers that we have options to choose from. Obviously, point being that the pricing has always been very supporting as well. And we typically operate out of the EU region. So, following all different compliance rules such as SOC 2, Type 2, ISO 27001, or the GDPR compliance. So, we ensure that we are able to pick the right data centers in the EU region, and OVH has a very good presence in the overall EU region, which has helped us to basically pick our servers well spread across this whole region, ranging from France to London to the other parts of EU, right? And then, obviously, as you mentioned, the unmetered bandwidth is something that we deeply care about because the amount of data transfer is like very, very high. So this is like at the scale of like 2 TB per month type minimum I'm talking about, right? So there are chains where you have like even more than that required to data transfer because you are always syncing with other blockchain peers, and there's a lot of activity that is going on, especially in the major public blockchains, which can technically shoot up the cost to very, very high if you're using any public cloud services. Now, quickly moving on to speaking about our customers. So, we take reliability, security, and performance very, very seriously because that directly reflects our brand and directly reflects us as an operator. So, we ensure that, we are taking the right set of measures when it comes to security, right set of measures when it comes to optimizing for the performance of the network by provisioning like multiple servers across various geographies and whatnot, right? So currently we have like a 99.99% node uptime and no slashing incidents since inception, and our performance has been quite validated by our customers, um, as evidently seen in this screenshots, right? So our nodes have been very, very highly performant, and our overall operations of these validators have been pretty successful, I would say. So definitely, our customers have been talking about us a lot, and we are pretty proud to ensure that we are able to deliver on that promise of performance and security and reliability. So with that, I would say, this is like something that I would want to mention.
Okay, that's great, Anuj. So thank you for sharing this insightful conversation. And it's good to hear that the kind of OVH cloud services which you are using in various regions, and you're able to benefit out of that. And I'm sure our audience has a lot to take from here. Anuj has shared his personal experience in leading business transformations. So that has turned into tangible plans and has made a measurable impact. Similarly, it'll give you insight and tips on how to establish the basics that can not only save you money, but satisfy business needs more effectively and enable your business growth. So I suppose we are running out of time right now because it's already, already 1 hour done. So what we can do, we can wait for the questions to come up from your side through our emails. So we are going to skip the Q&A session. We'll move on to this slide in which you can see our email address. So you can contact me, Shiv, or Omar if you have any queries, and we will be happy to answer them for you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, our speakers. We are grateful to you. We hope that you are taking away. So it's for the audience. We hope that you are taking away the right concepts in terms of building global decentralized blockchain infrastructure. So you have a pleasant day, and thank you for your time.
Very
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
Thank you very much to have